What do your clients say they value most in working with you?
Once you are my client, you are forever on my radar. You take up residence in my mind. Can you imagine the stress that is going on at the executive levels to hold businesses together and keep them viable and keep the employees in place and make all the right decisions? This one company hired me to work with one of their operations managers at one of the sites. And arriving there, this person was like 80% in the foxhole. There had been some issues that had happened. They weren't sure they wanted to go forward with her as the operations manager. And so I was sent in to do a number of things. Some were more consultative, but they really wanted me to work with her in a coaching posture. So she ended up really asserting herself into her role. And because of the way she shifted her thinking about herself, shifted the conversations, that internal chatter that was defeating her constantly over and over, telling herself, no, I cannot do this, I cannot stand up, I cannot, ask people to help, I cannot. And so she did not. So we shifted that around and she realized, yeah, I do have this in me. And this person actually ended up becoming a tiger of a manager and leader. And that operations site ended up coming in #1 out of 65 operations sites in the country, 5 out of the last 6 years.
How do you begin with a client? Is there an assessment process or an assessment phase? I mean, how do you begin?
Something will trigger someone coming to me, and then it just morphs into an ongoing relationship, a collaborative relationship that they continually bring, because things come up for them on a daily basis, and they can call me or we can set an appointment and say, hey, this just came up, or they send me an email, oh my gosh, I want to set, this just happened, I'm sending an email out, tell me what you think about this. It can be one call. I mean, I've had success, somebody calls me up for something and in 10 to 15 minutes, boom, that it happens. And that's kind of like what a coach is. And what I am to my clients is having access to me either through scheduled appointments or on the fly, like just in time, like they're going into a meeting in half an hour and like, I really need to run this past you, like, can you check my thinking here? And that's worth everything to them. But I will not take a job or an assignment where the hiring authority says, you have to tell me what's going on in the coaching conversation. I said, then you need to find another coach. It won't be me.
Can you explain your whole coaching philosophy?
Everything that we do that is observable, everything that we are, every action we take has its genesis in our brain. We have to think it first. So what does that mean? That means the connections that you make, the stories you tell yourself over and over again become who you are. How we connect the dots and interpret and synthesize everything that's going on in our brain, that inner chatter that tells us, uh-oh, I better, run for the hills, or, you know what, we can make this happen. I know there's chaos all around, but we can make this happen, and here's how I think I gotta go about doing this. Here's the great part about the brain. We can build new wiring. And people don't understand that. They think they're stuck, and they get stuck in these same loops of thinking with the same assumptions, the same criteria, and that leads them to the same results and the same decisions that are not working for them. And they just don't know how to break out of that. And so a coach can help provoke and focus them on how they're thinking. How are you connecting the dots? What is the criteria upon which you are making your decisions?
So how do you measure results in coaching? Or how would I, as a client, begin to measure results?
Executives are very vectored in on ROI, and that's another aspect of this. And I'm very conscious of that. So I want to make sure that we're very specific in terms of what's going to make them feel that they're getting their ROI. They like to get the direct shot. My clients, my executive clients, have loved and appreciated 3 basic things from me. I challenge their thinking, I give them the straight shot, and I ask them great questions. And that is extremely valuable to executives because people are very intimidated to give executives a straight shot. So I really love the aspect, I'm passionate around really getting hold of people and engaging them in this conversation and really seeing that spark of insight, to see burdens lifted, to see people build on their strengths and really become their most masterful self. And that's really what it's about. It's not about changing people or making them someone they're not, but actually getting them to assert themselves into their best self and realize the outcomes and the things they want, not only for their career, but for their lives. Because the unexpected benefit that so many of my clients have come back to me with was, you know what, Karla, working with you made such a difference in how I see things and how I operate. But the unexpected thing was like my relationship with my wife or my spouse or my child is so much better. I don't have the stress, and I see it now. It's like the curtain's been pulled aside. And that's a very unexpected benefit that people get, but to me it's very expected. Why? Because work is a subset of who we are. It's a subset of our lives. And so people will come to me with something that's really a business issue. They think it's a business issue. And really, what are we talking about? Them.